सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत्। अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मे अस्तु। तदात्मनि निरते यौपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओमित्येतदक्षरमुद्गीतमुपासीत ओमिति ह्युद्गायते तस्योपव्याख्यानम् आख्यायिका तो परविद्या स्तुत्यर्था। The anecdote is meant for the stuti, for extolling Paravidya or Brahma Vidya. Katham, in what manner do you say that this Akhyayika, the anecdote is meant for the stuti or praise of Brahma Vidya? Narado Devarshi Krutakartavya. None other than the divine sage Narada. Krutakartavya, one who has done whatever needs to be done. Sarvavidyobi, Sarva Vidya Yasya Saha, the one who possessed all the Vidya, all forms of knowledge. Sarvavidyobi San, Anatmagnyatvat, because he was Anatmagnya, he did not have knowledge of self, he was ignorant of the self. Sushocha eva Krutakartavya san, even though he has done everything that needs to be done, Sarvavidyobi san, and even though he possessed all forms of knowledge, even then, Sushocha eva, he indeed was grieving. So, therefore, Anatmagnyatvat, it is because of the lack of the self-knowledge that he was grieving in spite of all other accomplishments. So that is the, in a negative way this is said, Vyatireka, that because of absence of self-knowledge, how, in spite of all other accomplishments, Sage Narada was grieving. Means when the self-knowledge is there, one becomes free from grief. So self-knowledge alone can make oneself free from grief and no other accomplishment. Kyun vaktavyam anya alpavid jantuhu akrita punyadisha akrutasa iti. So an ignorant person who is akrutartha, who is not fulfilled, who is nowhere near what sage Narada was, what to talk of that person who is not fulfilled? When even sage Narada also was not fulfilled in the absence of self-knowledge. So that is the way the self-knowledge is praised in a different way, in an indirect way. Sanat Kumarana Brahmaputrena Upadishta. This Vidya was taught by none other than Sanat Kumara. Sarvajnena Brahmaputrena eva Narada Gruhita. Also, that this Vidya was received by none other than sage Narada, who himself was like omniscient. Idis te bhati. Or tathacha paravidya krutarthatvat. Because paravidya, the self-knowledge, is what makes a person krutartha, makes a person fulfilled in life. Tasya studiyatra vivakshita. So in an indirect way, the Shruti intends to communicate the exaltedness of paravidya or brahmavidya or self-knowledge. Or as Anandagiri said, Atidadhya adhishta sadatma vijnanat anyadeva devatopasanam moksha sadhanam. Or somebody may think that upasana of some devata, the meditation of devata, so that is also called jnanam, vidya. So vidya or knowledge of the nature of meditation upon a devata, which knowledge is different from what was taught in the previous chapter. That is moksha sadhanam, the means of is ashankya. Then nishedena, so both ways. What happens when the self-knowledge is not there? In that way, indirectly self-knowledge is extolled. And how no knowledge other than self-knowledge can give moksha? By dismissing or eliminating every other form of knowledge as a means of moksha. Tan nishedena sadat vijnanasyeva moksha sadhanatvam dhrudhikartam. So no knowledge other than self-knowledge can give you moksha. By showing that, by giving all other forms of knowledge. You see, the reason why all other forms of knowledge are given in case of sage Narada. For why? Every form of vidya he had. So what is the need to mention that, say that? That none of that enabled him to gain moksha. In absence of self-knowledge, no other knowledge enabled him to gain moksha. Self-knowledge is the only means of moksha. Dhrudhikartam. Iti. So it is not the stuti, it is dhrudhikartam. So another purpose of the akshayika or anecdote can be that the Shruti wants us to clearly and firmly understand that no knowledge other than self-knowledge can be the means of moksha. So either for the stuti of Brahmavidya or for creating a firm conviction that no knowledge other than Brahmavidya or Atmavidya or self-knowledge or Paravidya can be the means of moksha. So Mahashaya athava nanyat atmajnanat niritisha shreyasyadanamasti. There is atmajnana nanyat. Nothing other than the self-knowledge is shreyas sadhanam, is a means of moksha. So niritisha shreyas sadhanam. Nishreyasa niritisha shreya. Shreya means well-being. But the day-to-day well-being is subject to coming and going. Niridishayam shreya, unsurpassable well-being, Well-being that you get never goes away. A permanent well-being, which permanent it can be only if it is nature, not otherwise. Nothing can be permanent unless it is nature. If anything is created, it will perish someday. So Nishreyasam, the most exalted good, if it is to be nityam, permanent, it has to be the nature of self, has to be revealed by the knowledge. Iti tat pradarshanatham Sanat Kumara Narada-akhyayika arabhyate. For demonstrating this Akhyayika anecdote of the dialogue between sage Narada and Sanat Kumara is commenced here. So, Dvitiya Akhyayika Tatparyam. The second Tatparya, that no knowledge other than Brahma Vidya can be the means of moksha. On what ground do you say that? How do you say that this anecdote conveys this idea that no knowledge other than self-knowledge can be means of moksha? So, Master says, Yena Sarva Vijnana Sadhana Shakti Sapannasya Naradasya. So, sage Narada was possessed of all other knowledge, like Devata Jnana, every form of knowledge he had. Devarshe Shreya Nabhavuva. That in spite of acquiring all forms of knowledge, he did not gain a sense of well-being in his life. Shreya. Yena. So how do you say that he was not fulfilled? On what ground do you say that sage Narada had not discovered Shreya or a sense of well-being or fulfillment in his life? Why? Yena. Uttamajana, Tuttamavijana. Vidya, Vritta, Sadhana Shakti, Sampatti Nimitta Abhimanam Hitva. So even though he was endowed with the ability to acquire all forms of knowledge, and he was born in a very noble lineage, none other than son of being of Brahma, Vritta, his character, Achara was excellent. Vidya, his learning also was most exalted. Sadhana, Shakti, Sampatti, also ability to do any sadhana, meaning to pursue any spiritual knowledge, any spiritual means. Not only pursuit of this knowledge, but any other spiritual means, like meditations, like whatever tapasarya, penance is required, one is capable of doing all of that. Abhimanam. So all of this can create abhimanam, a sense of pride in a person that I can fast, I can give up things, I can walk, I can climb, I can learn, I can remember, I can meditate. So all of this can create a sense of pride. It is this pride which prevents a person from seeking help. So Swamiji says, that is seeking help is living intelligently. To recognize that I need help, number one. And then seek help where it is available, number two. So a proud person may not even recognize that he needs help. And secondly, even when he needs help, he will not seek help because he is too proud. So abhimanam, this pride is a great obstacle in seeking help. So abhimanam hitva, says Narada, there are so many reasons to be proud of, not just one. We may only one of those things, some vidya, some sadachara, some penance, some tapasarya, being born in noble family, if one of these things causes pride in us, then what to talk of divine sage Narada, who possesses all of these reasons for being proud of? Abhimanam hitva, giving up that pride, in recognition that I need the help. That here is someone who can help. And therefore, this determination or assertion that, or ascertainment that I should seek help. Prakruta Purushavatta. Who is the Prakruta Purusha? Who has, means an ordinary person, who has no reason to be proud of. An ordinary person who has no accomplishment in life and therefore no reason to be proud of. And here is a person who has all accomplishments in life and still he has given up. In that sense, both are equal. Sayyid Narada is not a Prakruta, not an ordinary person just because he surrendered to Sanat Kumara. He is not an ordinary person, but like an ordinary person. So, Pashvadivischa Avisheshat. So, just as Bhashyakara said that between wise person and an animal also there is a similarity. What's the similarity? The Kartrutva, the sense of doership is not there. That's all. Similarly, between Sayyid Narada and an ordinary person also, this similarity. And what is that? Is lack of pride. So, in that sense, the Prakruta Purusha is a very fortunate person that he can surrender anywhere. He can take refuge anywhere. He can go anywhere. That can be a problem also, of course, that you can go anywhere and you go everywhere. And that there is that, what is it? That Mahatma who had come, he says, Vyabhicharani Bhakti. So, these Hindus are Vyabhicharani Bhakti. They have no commitment, no loyalty. They'll go anywhere. So, all this, when there is a dargah, he'll go and offer chadar also there. He'll go anywhere. People of other religion never go anywhere. They are committed. They won't even accept a prasada, let alone come to the temple. This fellow can go anywhere. So there's an ordinary person also. That can be other extreme, of course. But being an ordinary person means being able to seek help. That's all it means here. So our Swami used to say that when you find yourself helpless, sometimes that situation, helplessness comes. Oh, you recognize it, maybe always there, but for you to recognize that I'm helpless. Sharanya manyadhyadham na jane. So, paripahi mrityoho, please save me from death, from suffering. I do not see any refuge other than you. So, when that happens, so that is when the real surrender is there, then that kind of surrender is required. Shishyasteham sadhimam tvam prapannam. Now Arjuna found that there is no surrender other than this Lord Krishna. Found him helpless. Found no way of coming out of this grief, and he did not find any other refuge or any other means. As long as the person feels that there are means, there is some way he can become free from grief, he will try. His pride will make him try everything. And having tried a variety of things, when he finds that he is not successful, that is when the pride goes, and then he finds that I am helpless. I need help. So then abhimanam hitva, then the pride is given up. That pride melts in the light of seeing oneself as helpless. That as far as this aspect is concerned, I am nothing, I am nowhere. So Prakruta Purushavat Sanat Kumaram Upasasada. He was fortunate that he went to the right place. Upasasada, in a very formal, proper manner, he approached Sanat Kumara, he surrendered to Sanat Kumara. What for? Shreyas sadhana praptahe, for nothing else. The reason why, says Narada, when the Sanat Kumara is Shreyas sadhana praptahe. So he is capable of undertaking all sadhanas. Says Narada is capable of undertaking any kind of spiritual means for other kind, any yoga, he can do anything. But Shreya sadhana praptahe, for acquiring the sadhanam, the means, in this case, the knowledge which is Shreya Sadhanam, the means of Shreya or Moksha. For that, he went to Prakhyapidam Bhavati. Again, this is what becomes understood. This story declares this. So Bhashyakara meditated upon this anecdote and arrived at two purposes for the Akhyayika. One is for Paravidya Stuti, other is for saying how there is no means other than self-knowledge for moksha. Look at Anandagiri. Anandagiri explains all these words, Sarva Vijnana Sadhana Shakti, etc. So, Sarva Vijnana Sadhana Shakti Sampannasyapi Naradasya Sarvasyapi Gneyasya Yad Vijnanam Sarva Vijnanam, whatever there is to know, Sarvajñapi Gneyasya Vijnanam, knowledge of anything that is to be known. So, Vijnana Sadhanam, Tasya Sadhanam, Utpadanam. So, whatever there is to know, want to know French language? Want to know alchemy? Want to know physics? Want to know Vyakaranam? Whatever. Whatever name or knowable is there is always an appropriate means for knowing that. Tatra Shaktya Sampanna. So, undertaking the proper means of gaining that knowledge. Now, knowledge may not be book knowledge, it may be knowledge which is you gain as a result of upasana. So, many knowledge requires also for you to worship, meditate. Like Ayurveda, all these knowledge also involve the subjective element. Not only book knowledge, but then you have to also grow and seek the inner purity and seek the grace of the Devata. So, Tatra Shaktya Sampanna, says Narada is possessed of the Shakti, the ability of undertaking any means of knowledge. So he has the capability of whatever he wants to know, he can undertake the means for acquiring that knowledge. Veda Vedanga Abhijñatvena, because Veda Vedanga Abhijñatvena, on account of the knowledge of the Vedas and Vedangas, all the Vedas and the limbs of the Veda. Shiksha, Kalpo, Vyakaranam, Niruktam, Chandha, Jyotishamiti. So that is the Sarva Vijnana Sadhana Shakti Sampannasyapi. Tasyapi, of that person also. Then, Yen Uttama Abhijana Vidya Vritta Sadhana Shakti Sampatti Nimittam Abhimanam. Anandagiri explains. Asti Naradasya Uttama Abhijane Janma Brahmana Manasa Putratvat. Because Devarshi Narada is a Manasa Putra, not even ordinary Putra. So the ordinary Putra who is born of the union of the Raja and Virya, that is not an immaculate person. So therefore, a child is born impure and therefore Jata Samskara etc. is required. So ordinary birth is not a pure birth. So Jesus Christ is born immaculate birth. He is born of a virgin, not the born of a union of man and woman. Because that when happened with Adam and Eve, then that's how all samsara is created. He is born immaculate. Therefore, he is born free from samsara. So anyway, that's the idea of Manasa Putra. That says Narada, of course Sanat Kumar also were the Manasa Putra, born of Sankalpa of Brahmaji, that involves no impurity. If you accept that to be an impurity or, so that is why Christians believe we are all sinners, because we are born impure. Through impure process we are born. Only Jesus Christ was born of a pure thing and therefore he alone is sinless, but he has the capability of absorbing all your sins. Not only is sinless, but he can absorb your, so they have surrendered to him. Accept him as your savior, then he'll do everything for you. So this is how they approach. That's a nice prakriya, So here, Manas Putratvat, asti, what is it? Uttam abhijane janma. He has a janma or the birth in a very noble lineage, being the Manasputra, the son born of Sankalpa, mind of Brahmaji. Vidya, of course, he has, that will be asti cha uttama karma. So Vrittam, so he is now well known as a very pure and person, sadachari, with his achara, the conduct was extremely pure. So he is devarship. Vidya, uttama karma, then vidya, asti cha vrittam. So karma vidya seems to be one word here. Asti cha uttama karma vidya. So he has the knowledge of karma, he doesn't have knowledge of the Atma. He will say that, so mantra vidyavasmi natu atma vida. So uttama karma, most exalted karma, the rituals, Narada must have performed, and therefore he has that vidya. Karma vidya he has. So vidya, say Narada is possessed of the knowledge of karma. Two forms of knowledge is there, knowledge of karma and knowledge of Atma. Of that, he is possessed of the knowledge of karma, vidya. Asti cha vrittam, sadacharanam. He has a great vritta, means the great acharanam, great conduct. Sadacharanam. So he is a sadachari, one who is rooted in the right conduct. So vritta. Then sadhana shakti sampatti nimitta asti cha shravana dhyanadi sadhana shakti nam dharma adharma sadhana seva sharira shakte sampattischa. Asti cha goes with what follows, So asti cha also he has. Sadhana shakti sampatti. What is sadhana? Shravana dhyanadi sadhana shakti. Shakti has the capability of pursuing Shravanam. That requires capability. To sit at the feet of the teacher and listen to the scriptures requires his own capability. And Mananam requires capability. Dhyanam requires capability. So Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, that is the means of pursuit of knowledge, requires its own capability. Or, so sadhana shakti nam sampatti. अथवा धर्म आधर्म साधन सेवा शरीर से शक्ति है संपत्तिश्च. So Shakti can mean the Shakti of the ability of the mind, or it can mean the power, ability of the body, strength of the body. So that also is a required Shakti, sadhana. Why? Dharma dharma sadhanasya va sharirasya. Sharira madhyam khalu dharma sadhanam. Sharir is the primary means of dharma or righteousness. So that Shakti also required, which also he had. So sadhana Shakti sampatti nimitta janmadaya. So janmadaya nimittamasya bhimanasya. So janma, vidya, vritta, sadhana Shakti sampatti. All of these are the nimitta, the reasons for abhimana, for pride. Tam tyaktva, that abhimanam which one can easily have on account of possessing even one of these things, he possesses all of them. Abhimanam hitva, giving up that pride. Prakrita Purushavat Sanat Kumaram Upasasada. Or as the other Tikakara says, in the line on the page, last line, page 296, or if you look at the line number 32, Atma Jnanameva Shreyah Prapti Sadhanam Na Karma. Only self-knowledge is the means of moksha and not karma. Apara Vidyava. So, both, says none of that both. Yet karma also as well as upasana, apara vidya. Idyukte tat parityagena atma vidyameva pravritti siddhyet. We already read this. So when it is recognized, then there will be pravritti, a pursuit of only self-knowledge. Dedadartham tasya shreya praptisadhanata jnapanartha akhyayika. So the second one is Atmajnanam alone is Shreya Sadhanam, and to declare this is the purpose of the second purpose of the Akhyayika, the anecdote. Tatra. So this Tikakara said Akhyayikadu Paravidya Stutyartha. Then it is Athava Narado Devarshihi. Instead of Katham, it is Athava. Sarvitso Sarvavidya Sarvavidya Samasa. Okay. We already saw that. So, yena sarvijnana sadhana siksampannis akrutarthata eva. Because of which, even though he is possessed of the capability of pursuing means of all knowledge, and still he was unfulfilled. Akrutarthatve hetu antarena iti. Antara means without the self-knowledge, there is always akrutarthata or unfulfillment. Yena akrutarthata eva. Because of which, due to what reason, says Narada was not fulfilled. Yena shreya na bahuva. Because of which he did not gain moksha. Yena uttama abhijanadi sampat nimitta abhimanam hitva. Because of which he gave up all his pride, and Sanat Kumaram upasasada, he approached Sanat Kumara. So the reason why he gave up his pride and approached Sanat Kumara, Ataha Shreya Prapti Sadharam Khyapitam Bhavati. So all of this makes it clear that Atmajnanam, self-knowledge alone, is the means of Shreya or moksha. Then the Tikakara says, Kvachitu koshe pathavedo drishyate. So this is our patha. The part, the reading that Tikakara had was different. Alternately said, this is a Tika part also. Paravidya stutyarthi itha idyanatma katham iti prashtva. So that is katham. Narada devas ityadin akrutartha iti. Idhantena stuti prakara pradarsanam krutva. अथवा नान्य इत्यादिना आख्यायिका श्रेय प्राप्त ज्ञापनार्थम प्रयोजनानंतरम प्रदर्शितम. As we read, so with athava says Atmajnanam alone is the means of moksha, that's the other prayojanam. So two prayojana Bhashyakara said of the anecdote. One is that it is stuti or for this praise or extolling of Paravidya or Brahmavidya, and secondly to make it very clear there is no means other than self-knowledge for attainment of moksha. Asmin pathe anatmajnatvat shushocha. That's our patha. Kyu vaktavyam anya krutadyuktya eva atmajnanacha shoka nivartakatvat krutartha hetutvat studiyukta drashtavyam. That atmajnanam alone can remove the grief, and it also can, only alone can create sense of fulfillment. That way, so two ways you can see. This knowledge was imparted by none other than Sanat Kumara and gained by none other than Narada. That also is one way of stuti. Or that how self-knowledge removes all the grief and brings about the krutarthata or sense of fulfillment. So that also way you can see how the self-knowledge is praised here in Drashtavyam. So this is all the background before going to the first passage. So with that now we can read the first passage on the page 295. Atha saptamodhyaya. Om adhihi bhagavati ha upasasada sanat kumaram naradaha tam hovacha yadvetha tenama upasida tataste urdhvam vakshami iti Sahovacha. So Om begins with the utterance of Om. So that very utterance, sound itself is very auspicious. So of course it recalls the name of Paramatma, therefore recalls in the mind the Ishvara. Same time, Om Atha, those very utterances themselves bring about the Mangalam or auspiciousness. Adhi Bhagavaitya Upasasada Sanat Kumaram Naradaha. Sanat Kumar comes first, then Narada comes. In fact, Narada says Narada, Sanat Kumaram Upasasada. Says Narada, approach the Sanat Kumara. With what? Adi Bhagava, with these words. Adi Bhagavaha. So, O revered sir, O venerable sir, Adi, please teach me. With these words, says Narada, approached Sanat Kumara. Tam hovacha. To Narada, who had thus approached, Seth Sanat Kumara told him, Yadvetha tenama upasida. Yadvetha. With whatever you know. Upasida, may you approach me. So may you approach me with whatever you know. Meaning you tell me whatever you know. So Seth Sanat Kumara seems to say that the way to approach me is not only the external achara or conduct of pranipatena, sevaya, that is all there. Over and above that, you approach me, surrender to me, meaning reveal before me what all you know. Something unique. Elsewhere, of course, we find the student right away expressing his need of knowledge and the teacher unfolding that. But here says Narada simply approaches Adhihi Bhagavaha. Oh venerable sir, please teach me. So what should I teach you? I should know what you know, then I can teach you further. Just as when King Janaka requested, say Yajnavalkya, please show me the way. Please show me the way by traveling on which I do not have to return to this life of birth and death. Please show me the way. So Yajnavalkya says, but where do you want to reach? Please tell me what is the destination which you want to reach. Then only I can tell you the way to reach there. There, of course, Janak Raja said that I neither know the destination nor do I know the way. So teach me what is the destination and what's the way. Okay. So where the student is what the teacher has to know. Somebody approaches you and so you should know where he is coming from, not place where he is coming from which level he is coming from which attitude he is coming from which level of the spiritual evolution is coming from. So what kind of intellectual, capacity he has, what is his questions, what is the nature of this person? The teacher wants to assess that before he can give him the upadesha. A doctor will not give a medicine right away just because, doctor, please cure me, please help me. What is your problem? So tell me your symptoms. Then doctor will decide what the disease is and so what's the appropriate medication is. So here also the Lord Sanat Kumara wants to know what is Narada's problem. So you want to know, you want me to teach you. So tell me first what you know so that we don't waste time in teaching you what you already know. But that is okay. Apart from that, when I understand what you know, then I will understand what you do not know, what you need to know. So yadvetha tenama upasida. Approach me with whatever you know. So that pariprashna. That's also one of the formalities that, so acharya means formality. So please also tell me what you know. Tatah te urdhvam vakshyami. Urdhvam. Then I'll tell you beyond what you know. Te vakshyami. I'll tell you beyond what you know. The fact that you are coming here and requesting that please teach me, that means that you need to learn something. But I should first know what it is that you know, then I will realize or I'll assess what you need to know. And that's what I will be able to tell you. So, answer to that, in reply, says Narada said. What Narada said comes in the next passage. So, going back to page 297, the Bhashya. Adhihi adhishva bhagavah bhagavanniti kila upasasada. Adhi bhagavah iti upasasada. So, ha means kila. So, adhi means adhishva. So, look at the tika on the line 30 on that page. Adhi iti parasmi pada darshanat. Adhipurvaka iksmarane iti dhatu ukta iti shanka syat. So this adhi plus e, that's the dhatu. E generally is always preceded by adhi. So adhi plus e. Now this e dhatu is obtained in both parasmipada as well as atmanepada. In both the meaning is different. So in parasmipada it is what? Iksmaran adhi iksmarane iti dhatu ukta. So that is parasmipada. Adhi is parasmipada. So then it will mean what? Smarane. So smara, please remember. So literally, if adhihi would mean please remember. Iti shanka syat. So what is the remembering here? Tasya cha prakruta asangatihi iti matva. There is no, here it doesn't make sense for sage Narada to approach sage Sanat Kumar and say, please remember. Therefore, ing adhyayane iti dhatu ukta hai atmanipada. Ing adhyayane, that is second ganas atmanipada. So, both are second conjugation, but then iksmarane iti parasmipada. Ing adhyayane, ik, that kakara is there, ing adhyayane, this is the atmanipada. So that would mean adhyayane in terms of study. So adhyayane iti dhatu ukta. So Bhashyakara says that even though the words are adhihi, it should mean adhishva. So change it from parasmipada to atmanipada. So Bhashyakara adhishva. The fact that Bhashyakara explains adhi as Ishvara means Bhashyakara thinks that adhi dhatu should not be in the parasmipada, it must be in atmanepada. So Shrutau adhi iti parasmipadam chandasam ityas, that's what it amounts to saying. Even though Shruti is adhihi, it should mean adhishvara. So Bhashyakara said, the next one, adhihi bhagavah iti mantrah. Adhihi bhagavah iti mantrah. So, when I have a footnote here which says, nanu vijñāpaya bhagavan iti eva kuto na uktam. Na said, na got to simply said vijñāpaya bhagavah or bhagavan, simple. Oh Venerable Sir, O Lord, please vijñāpaya, please make me see, please teach me. Iti kuto na uktam, why should proper grammar not be used here? Why should not sage Narada approach with these words? It would have been simple. So there were vijñāpaya bhagavan adhi instead of vijñāpaya bhagavan would have been simple. Iti Bhashyakara is adhi bhagavati mantraha. So one should approach a teacher with these words, adhihi bhagavah. or Adhihi Bhagavo Brahmeti. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, Bhrugu Roi Varunihi Varunam Pitaram Upasasara Adhihi Bhagavo Brahmeti. So Taittiriya Upanishad describes that how sage Bhrugu approaches his father, sage Varuna. Bhrugu may not have been sage at that time, the student Bhrugu, the son, approaches his father, sage Varuna, with his words, Adhihi Bhagavo Brahmeti. Please, Upadesh, teach me. Adhihi means what? So, Vijñāpaya. Therefore, there also Bhāshya, Adhihi Bhagavo Brahma is a mantra. And this is a formality. With that mantra, you should approach the teacher. Adhihi Bhagavo Brahma Vidyam Varishtam Sada Sadbhis Sevimanam Nigudham Yachirat Sarapapam Vipohya Parat Param Purusamupai Yate Vidwan. So, Kaivalya Upanishad. Adhihi Bhagava, there also. So, this is a trend in the, well, that is Atharva Veda. This is the Samveda, Taittiriya, the Yajur Veda. In every Veda we find that. So this is what Bhashyakara says, Adhi Bhagavayati mantra. So mantra purvakam kardavyam guru pasadanam. Bhashyakara, when he says that Adhi Bhagavaya is a mantra, means that guru pasadanam, approaching the teacher, must be done with utterance of this mantra, Adhi Bhagavaha or Adhi Bhagavaha Brahma iti. What does it mean? Adhi, please teach me. So he wants to learn, he wants to gain knowledge. Meaning that he will remain with the teacher until the knowledge takes place. There is a commitment here. So this mantra, Adhi Bhagavaha, please teach me, I want to learn. So basically what? I want to learn Brahman. I want to know Brahman. That's what it is. So when he says, please teach me Brahman or please give me Upadesh about Brahman, in a way the student is expressing his commitment that I have come here to gain the knowledge. And therefore, he should not leave the teacher in between. So Brahma Tattvam Avijñāya Madhye Na Uparameta. One should not withdraw in between before one has gained the knowledge of Brahman. So that commitment is contained in those words. Iti yatnāsīram ādartavyam atñātishayam ādartavyam iti pratibodhayati. When Bhashyakara says Adhi Bhagavaha or Adhi Bhagavo Brahma iti mantra, the word Adhi in a way expresses or reveals the commitment the student has. The student has come here with the express purpose of knowledge and nothing else. And that means that I will not leave until the knowledge takes place. That means Bhashyakara is saying that one should not leave the teacher until the knowledge takes place. Iti yatna atishayam adartavyam. You do whatever yatna is required. Whatever effort is required, one must make. Yatna atishayam. All exceedingly good effort is required, excellent effort is required, great effort is required for acquiring knowledge, and that shows his commitment that I will do whatever is required to gain the knowledge. So Bhashyakara says, so Bhashyakara implies, just by these words, Adhi Bhagava iti mantra, by that Bhashyakara implies that here is a commitment on the part of the student. First of all, the student reveals that I come here for knowledge of Brahma, and that I am committed to the knowledge. Therefore, I will do whatever is required to gain that knowledge. Not only that, but I will be with you until the knowledge takes place. All of this is implied by this word Adhi Bhagava iti mantra. So say the Tika in line 3rd, Tadarthameva mantra iti uktam. So why? So Adhishva Tadarthameva mantra iti uktam. It is for that purpose that this is called a mantra. It is not Chandasam. In a way you can say that the Shruti has not followed the grammar here. The student should have said Adhishva and the Shruti is Adhihi. Why? Because these words have a significance. They are mantra and therefore they must be uttered as they are. You don't change mantra. Even though grammatically it may appear to be incorrect, but you don't change that path. Bhadram karnebihi shrunuyama devaha. Karnebihi is wrong grammar, karnebihi it should be. But you don't change it. And so what is it? Atmalingaya namaha, that's so. What is it? Atmaya namaha, Atmalingaya namaha. The Atmaya namaha is not right. Atmane namaha. But still, you don't change it because it is mantra. So my mantra means that it must be uttered as it is, because Vedic mantra. So Bhashyakara says that this being mantra, therefore Adhihi Bhagavaha, with these words says Narayana, because he knows the manner in which to approach the teacher, and therefore he approaches teacher with the utterance of this mantra. Iti uktam. So what should we understand? Tatascha antargarbhidam nijartham svikritya. So therefore, even though we should understand it in a causal sense, Adhi should understand is what? Adhyapaya. Ani means what? Causal. And so, antargarbhidam, we have to understand that any suffix is implied here, understood, is there. So Adhi should be understood as Adhyapaya. He Bhagavan, Adhyapaya Brahma iti mantrasya artha darshita iti jnayam. So Vashyakara means to say that Adhi, He Bhagavan, Adhya, Bhagavan is Bhagavan. He Bhagavan, oh revered sir, venerable sir, please Adhyapaya Brahma, please teach me Brahma, please give me Upadesha of Brahma, iti mantrasya artha darshita iti jnayam. So this is what we should understand from what Bhashyakara says. So this again Tika, yaddiv anyatra adhi bhagavo brahma iti mantre. So like in Taittiriya Upanishad, adhi bhagavo brahma iti mantre. Adhi smara. So somewhere, elsewhere, not by Bhashyakara, but then elsewhere other Tikakaras also have explained this mantra. So adhi means taking literally. Adhi is what? Parasmaipada. So adhi smara, that's what literal meaning would be. So ik smarane. So ik smarane means what? In the sense of smaranam. So adhi smara. So vidhilinga, please remember, that's what it means. Smara. Means then what? Then you would add one step there. Smrutva cha upadisha. It is not enough that the teacher remembers Brahma Vidya, but remembering Brahma Vidya Upadesha, please teach me. That one additional step is required. Idi vyakhyatam tathapi tat bahu adhyaharapatya klishtam. So, if you take this adhihi literally, then a literal meaning would smara, please remember. Then you have to add one step. Smrutva, then upadisha, smrutva cha upadisha. After remembering, please teach me. So one more step. So bahu adhyahar apatya. So too many implied things are there, unsaid things are there. There were klishtam. It becomes very klishtam, means it becomes very complex. Tat pariharaya evam vyakhyatam. So maybe elsewhere Bhashyakara has, we have not found this. Where Bhashyakara has commented smara and smritva upadisha, anyatra. So where anyatra is not in Taittiriya Upanishad, this mantra only appears in Taittiriya Upanishad. You know, of the 10 major Upanishads, Adhi Bhagava appears here and in Taittiriya Upanishad. But in Taittiriya also Bhashyakara has not commented this way, smara and smritva upadisha. There Bhashyakara did not say Adhishva. In Taittiriya Upanishad, Adhi is Adhi, just, but here is Adhi, Adhishva. So tat parihara evam vyakhyatam. Therefore, not to make it very complex, Bhashyakara is Adhishva. mean understand Adhyapaya. Here also that implication is there. Adhishva means Adhyapaya. So Parasmai Pada must be changed to Atmanepada and simple Prayogam must change to causal. So that is involved here also. Then said Sanat Kumara said, Yad Vetha Tenama Upasida. Okay, then let us proceed further here in the Bhashya. So Adi Bhago iti upasasada Sanat Kumaram Yogishwaram Brahmishtham Nardaha Upasannavan. So Sanat Kumaram, who is son of Yogishwaram? So Sanat Kumara is well known as great yogis. They are ever young, ever child, ever fresh, ever rooted in Brahman. So it is well known that Sanat Kumara is always quoted as one whose mind never swerves from the abidance in Brahman. So Yogishwaram. So not an ordinary teacher. When says Narada goes to a teacher, he has to be somebody, something very special. So Yogishwaram, the Lord of the great, all the yogis, Brahmishtham, yoga is one thing, and Brahmishtham also abiding in Brahman, both the things are there. So one can be a Brahmistha abiding in Brahman, may not be Yogishwara, may not be adept in yoga. Like a Sampragnata Samadhi, etc., or all that self-control, one may not have. One may be abiding in yoga, but may not abide in Brahman. But here Sanat Kumara is possessed of both these abilities. He is a great yogi as well as one who abides in Brahman. Narada upasasada upasannavan. Says Narada, approach Sanat Kumara such as that. Then Tam Hovacha. So Vashyakara says, Tam Hovacha Yad Vetha Tenama Upasida iti. This is what says Sanat Kumara says. Vashyakara explains. Tam Nyayatah Upasannam Ha Vacha Yata Atma Vishaya Kinchida Vetha Tena tat prakhyapanena mam upasida idam aham jane iti tatoham bhavato vijnanat te tubhyam urdhvam vakshyami ityuktavati Sahovacha Nardaha. So Tam Hovacha, to say Narada, who is he? Nyayataha Upasannam. Adi shows that Narada knows the manner of approaching the teacher. He knows that. So when he utters that mantra, meaning that he knows other things also. Pranipatena, Pariprashnena, Sevaya. Samit Panihi, Brahmanishtham, So all of he knows. Therefore, Nyayatah Upasannam Tam. So one who is approached in a proper manner. So manner also is important. Inasmuch as the manner also reveals your inner spirit or your inner attitude. Therefore, manner also that Achara is very important also. So our culture always paid a great they gave great importance not only to Vichara but Achara also. Achara Prabho Dharma. So Dharma is that which has a predominance of Achara or right conduct, Sadachara. I guess it is thought that when you have the right Acharya, the right Vichara also will come. When the right Achara, right conduct is there, right Vichara, right thinking also will follow. Therefore, we raise our children with the right Achara, the right conduct. Don't say this, don't do this. He doesn't know why. don't eat this, don't eat like this. Suppose you eat like this with one finger, say, आंगली नहीं छोड़वानी, छाड़वानी नहीं आंगली ना. Use all your fingers. भात ना छोड़वानो नहीं. Don't do that. So don't treat this rice in this manner. So you don't know why they are still being told. At every step, instructions are there. Because that's all the child can understand. Cannot understand the vichara behind that, can only understand achara. So achara comes first, then vichara also follows. Of course, you require achara and vichara. No doubt, vichara is more important than achara, no doubt about that. But how do you know the right vichara is there if right achara is not there? Therefore, in Vedic culture, achara, the right conduct is extremely important. Therefore, jnayatah upasannam, says Narada, who approached him in a proper manner. So then what happens also that simply you stop at achara. Then what happened in our culture also that people give so much importance to achara, so much importance to external conduct, that the inner spirit sometimes is not emphasized at all and person is judged merely by the achara. So when you do not have the ability to judge the vichara of the person, you judge him only by achara. And then you pass your judgment as how this fellow is and how he should not, whatever. So you're not the right one, because your achara is not right. So sometimes there is a revolt to this also. So that is why even when you worship Ishvara, Lord, there must be proper upachara. So there are stories. There is a very famous story. What is it? Kannappa, I think, in South India. This fellow is a hunter. And somebody taught him, Lord Shiva is a great Lord, you should worship him. So with all devotion, how would he worship a hunter? And so he says, you should offer water to the Lord and you should offer him food. So he should offer whatever he had. So he would fill up his mouth with water. And then pour it on Lord's Shivalinga. And he has killed some animals, so offer flesh as naivedya. He will ruin the whole place. In the evening he would come. In the morning the pujari has come and made it so clean and nice, and this fellow would just pollute it. Every morning the pujari comes, priest comes, and find that who is coming here is polluting this. So one day he decided to wait and see. Therefore he waited, then he hid himself behind the tree to watch what is happening. And he was aghast when he found this hunter coming and pouring water from his mouth, polluted water, offering flesh to the Lord. And he said, Lord, what is going on here? Then he was told that, look, this is my real devotee. So he gets Lord's darshan, and I don't get, what is this? Because he is a real devotee. So there achara is dismissed, vichara, the bhakti is emphasized. So the stories are always there. When you go overboard with anything, overboard means what? Everywhere there are limits always. And when you don't, respect those limits, then this kind of stories also are told. That every limit, every discipline also has a purpose and has a limit. You should not judge a person merely by the external discipline or external conduct. Look at his bhavana also. But the conduct is important. Implying that's why Lord Krishna said 2 verses. Tad viddhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya. By pranipata, pariprasna and seva, you approach your teacher. So that is conduct, achara. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam, then says right away that this achara implies that there is shraddha, the spirit of shraddha or the faith trust is there, bhakti is there. Sutam jnayata upasannam hovacha. Important thing is that Sanat Kumara responded to him. Narada could go there, says Narada could go and request for teaching, but Sanat Kumara need not oblige him. But then he finds that here is a right, he is a qualified student. So when a teacher finds a qualified student, then he should also respect the student. And there were upasannaya samyaka prashanta chittaya shamanvitaya. So yena aksharam purusham veda satyam provachatam tattvato brahma vidya. She will teach him the Brahma Vidya. Therefore, says Sanat Kumar also respond, Hovach. That's a very important step, otherwise this would not have proceeded. The story would not have come to us if Sanat Kumara did not respond. Yad vetha tenama upasida means what? Yat atmishe, yat kinchit atmishe vetha. So whatever you know with reference to Atma, because you have come here to know, gain the knowledge of self. Sanat Kumara is not interested in other kind of things. Sanat Kumara wants to give him upadesh about the self-knowledge, that's all. So, whatever it is that you know, means what is meant is, whatever you know with reference to self, you tell me. But here, whatever you know, literally it is taken by saying Narada, but here, Bhashyakara says that what Sanat Kumara meant was that whatever you know with reference to self, Atmisham, Yayatmisha, Yat Kinchit, Vetha. So whatever you know with reference to Atma, the self, Tat Prakyapanena Upasida. Approach means what? Tat Prakyapanena, by declaring. So please declare before me, please state before me whatever it is that you know in respect of Atma, the self. How? Idam aham jane iti. This is how you declare. Idam aham jane, this is what I know. Please tell me what all you know. With reference to Atma, I guess. That's what Bhashyakara says. Why? Why should I say that? Tatoham te urdhvam vakshyam. So vakshyami. So that I know what you know and I can tell you what more you need to know. So, Tubhyam te urdhvam vakshyami. I will tell you what is beyond that, what more is to be known. So Tikagara says, see, Anandagiri, Adhyanavachivadam smranatar parataya katham vyakhyadamid ashankyaha. So, adhihi is adhyanavachi padam. Adhi means actually learn. That adhihi means what? Study or learn or teach. So, smarana parataya, smaraya. So, make me remember. So, why do? Because yad vetha. You tell me what all you know and then I will tell you what more you need to know. So, that's how from yad vetha. Anandagiri says that from these words yad vetha, Bhashyakara interprets adhihi. Of course, it is not smaraya here, but then smarana parataya katham vyakhyadam. So yadipi anyatra adhi. So that is how maybe Anandagiri had that kind of a patha. Anyatra adhi bhagavo brahma iti mantra adhi smara smrutvacha upadisha. So then adhi can be what? Adhyana also and smarana also. So, adhyana instead of that, why is Bhashyakara interpreting as smaranam? Because yad vetha, so whatever you know, then I will tell you what more is to be told to you. Anyway, huh? Oh, this one, all right. So, here, nyayataha, so, iti shabda adhyaya akhyayikayoho samandokti samaptyartha. Okay. So, that iti was Nirtishe prapti sadhatvam atmavidyaya iti. That iti is akshayika, adhyaya akshayikayo sambandhokti. Iti is for ukti, telling the sambandha, the connection between adhyaya and akshayika. So one sambandha is 6th chapter and 7th chapter. Other sambandha is with the 7th chapter and the akshayika. Two kinds of sambandha the Sangadis Bhashyakara stated. So adhyayena jnanam lakshyate. Okay. So adhyayena jnanam lakshyate. So again by lakshana vritti. So tatha cha adhishva jnapaya ityartha. So jnapaya, not adhishva but jnapaya. So please teach me, make me see, make me know. So by lakshana vritti, that's how Anandagiri explains that. So then Adhi Bhagavati mantra upasadanasyeti shesha, that's the mantra for approaching the teacher. So nyayataha upasannam nyayataha samitpani ityadi shastrokta vidhivashadati samitpani shrotriyam brahmanishtam. So Shastra says how one should approach. In that manner, we assume that says Narada approached Sanat Kumara. Or going to the next Tika in the line 33, net 34. Yad dvaiteti prastu ko abhiprayahedi ched. Because Yad Dvaita does not come in second passage anyway. हाँ पर यद वेद word does not come in. ये तो पहला मंत्र है ना. अच्छा ये वेद थे यदि विज्ञान से पृष्ठत यही रहता है. भाष्य में वेद था. ठीक है, all right. यद वेद पशुप इस पृष्ठु of Sanat Kumara se ko abhipraya hai. When Sanat Kumara says, you tell me what you know, what is the intention? Utte uchyate tad buddhi vishay jnate tasminneva vishay brahmopadeshe. It's a very beautiful interpretation. Why does Sage Sanat Kumara ask Narada, you tell me what you know? So this is a different insight. Tad buddhi vishay jnate. So when the teacher knows what is buddhi vishaya, what is it that is in the mind of the student? So what all is this vishaya or the object of knowledge? What all he knows? What is in his mind? So whatever knowledge is there is what is there in one's mind. So tad buddhi vishaya jnate. When Sanat Kumara the teacher knows what is the vishaya or the object in the mind of, say, Narada, tasminneva vishaya, then Brahmopadesh will start from where Narada is. So Nama, So that is how the Upadesha begins. It's very funny, that Upadesha begins with Nama. That's what says Narada knows. So says Sanat Kumara, what all you know is merely Nama, name. That's all you know. And therefore the Upadesha begins with Nama. So the teacher wants to know what it is that is in the mind of the student. What is it that is the level of knowledge of the student? And from that level, the teacher will start. So tat buddhi vishaya jnate, when the level of the knowledge and the subject matter of knowledge of the student is known, tasminneva vishaya, in that very vishaya, upadesh, brahma upadeshe. So taking that very vishaya and teaching Brahman. So as in Taittiriya Upanishad, we have different kinds of upasanas. So samhita upasana, when upasana involves sandhi, So what is it? Acharya purva rupam, anteva suttara rupam, vidya sandhihi, pravachanagam sandhanam. So because the student has come from the background of grammar, so he is very well versed with sandhi or the conjoining of the letters. So teacher instructs him about the meditation which involves sandhi or conjoining of letters. Then student will know. Or when all the upasana, the omkara is given, that is what the student knows. So, looking at the background of student and building up from that background is the right way of teaching. So here, says Sanat Kumara wants to assess the background, the level, then also what is going on, mental thinking of Narada, so that he will begin his teaching from there. So, Tasmin Vishay Brahmopadeshe, in that very Vishaya, the subject, is Brahmopadeshe, because you can approach Brahman from anywhere. Since everything is Brahman, you can approach Brahman from anywhere. Whether approaching Brahman as the one in whose presence all the sense organs or Karyagana Sangata functions, or Brahman is one, knowing which everything as well becomes known, etc. So different questions are there, and you can approach and arrive at Brahman from anywhere. So similarly, we can approach and arrive at Brahman from where Narada is, and then say that reasonably comfortable, because he is oriented to what he is, and it's much easier for him to proceed from there. So tasya buddhyaroho bhaved, then only this teaching will actually become, means of, will be known and understood by him. Anyatra upadeshadu buddhi anaroha syat. So if Narada comes from one background and you teach him something else from different point of view, he won't be able to grasp it. So grasping will take place when you start from where he is coming from. Iti te tubhyam urdhvam vakshyami, I will tell you beyond that, iti uktavati sahovacha Narada. So to Sanat Kumar who had said thus, Yadveta tenama upasida, to him says Narada replied in this manner. That comes in the second passage. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.